Hello everybody and welcome back to Artisans Table Talk. We are here today with the lovely and talented local artist from Newbury, Mary Ann Sedivy.
Hello.
So welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. I am very interested to talk to you today because just the short conversations that we've had in the past, I find what I know about your journey and your artistic story is very interesting. So just to start out with, give me a little brief history on how you got started and where your journey took you and where you are today.
Okay, I'll make it brief. So I knew I wanted to do art when I was young, like in grade school, and I realized I could mix colors with crayons and create, I was so excited about blending color. And so I think that if you look at my artwork, kind of jumping ahead a little bit, you'll see a lot of it is about color. So then, when I was in high school, took a lot of art classes, and that naturally led to college, where I was an art major at Hiram College, and I also got my teaching degree, so I could teach art. So art has been the theme.
Yeah.
And then I think I just always wanted to create. So even when we were raising our children, I always had a spot somewhere in the house where I could create art. Mm-hmm. I had a little tiny bit of studio space down by the washer and dryer in the basement. And, so there was always a space. And then when we moved into the house we're in now, we knocked off a wall in a bedroom, made a studio, and then eventually made a larger studio out on the property. So physically, that's where I am now as far as, all that goes. And, but the desire to create has always been there. And you're probably going to ask me questions about what I create, so I'm going to stop talking. Yeah.
Well, so that's a perfect lead-in, because I think one of the reasons that I am always so attracted to your work is because of the color. Mm-hmm. I mean, I use color obviously in my work, mm-hmm. and yes, the irony is not lost on me that I am sitting here in black and white.
And me too.
And we're talking about color. But no, I think one of the reasons that I am so drawn to your work is because of your use of color. Mm-hmm. So my question is, when you are thinking about designing a piece or a series or a collage, what comes first, the color palette or the design?
Depends on what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, for example, if I'm painting a landscape, a lot of my work in the early days, especially before I started going into more abstract work, was painting our beautiful world, especially mm-hmm. out here in Geauga County. So then it would be, I was inspired by the colors I see, but often I was moved by a scene, and it was mm-hmm. the color. So I guess to answer that, color is a motivator. So it would be seeing something, it's like you're driving down the road, it's like, oh my God, look at that gold field. I have to paint mm-hmm. that, I have to capture that gold. So I suppose that would come first, but then the design plays into it, yeah. What's around it, and therefore, then I work from there. When it comes to collage pieces, sometimes I'll use a color wheel, and I'll pick 3 colors that are gonna help me organize my piece, and then the design falls in place. Okay. Or I might have sketched out some design ideas, and then the color falls in place. So there's no one exact thing that happens.
Yeah. So it is. So it is kind of. I don't want to say random. That's not the right word.
No, inspiration.
But
it comes from different places.
Yeah. Inspired. So. Another good lead-in. Boy, she's good at this. So another good lead-in. So you had mentioned earlier that you gradually went into the abstracts. Mm-hmm. So that was not your focus in college?
Mm-mm. In college, it was all learning, just painting landscape and learning media. I mean, you come into college where you have little experience, depending on where you went to high school or if you even took art. So it was just learning oils, learning acrylics, just learn, and just painting still lifes. And I don't even think I did a whole lot of landscape in college.
Okay.
It was later, just to where it just started I always loved the landscape, but it really started hitting me as an artist that I wanted to paint it.
Okay. And so what made you move into abstract?
So there's a couple avenues with abstract. It's kind of interesting. So one was for quite some time when I would paint, I would keep a sketchbook open next to me, and I'd just clean my brush on the sketchbook pages.
Mm-hmm.
And then later go back and maybe draw into those, onto those pages, or maybe cut into them. So, because I've always had an interest in collage, and so
Yeah.
that became, it was kind of a dumping ground for my color.
Okay.
And so it led to abstract pieces. And then through my teaching, I'm a high school art teacher, and so, you're teaching collage maybe
Right.
as one of your lessons. So I found that I really liked that. And also collage, so I'm saying collage, which is, a lot of my abstracts have collage in it.
Yes,
so
this
let me
piece
clarify that. Yeah.
is a collage.
Yeah,
yes.
so it's paint with collage media. Here you have oil pastel, you have some collage papers. So, yeah, collage I found kind of set me, I started understanding design, because abstract art, or any art, really has design as its premise, as its design
Right.
principles.
Right.
So I think collage led me to abstract too.
Okay. Okay. Well, that seems like it would be a natural,
Mm-hmm.
progression.
Right. Well, and the other thing too is while I love painting the landscape, I found myself interpreting it more in a looser fashion,
Mhm.
which then that kind of heads you into abstract, where you're just looking at shape,
Yeah.
color, emotion, the feeling you get from those things, rather than specifically saying, like, I am painting this tree. Instead,
Right.
it's the idea of it.
Sure.
And that became very interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and one of the things, and like I said earlier, I think one of the reasons that I'm attracted to Mary Ann's work is because of her color palettes. And so this one in particular here, this piece has a color palette that I find very innovative.
Mm-hmm.
You have this beautiful, eye-catching, purple in the middle, with the blue and the pink, which is all natural. But then the olive greens out here are something that, your standard learn to paint art book
Mhm.
is not going to necessarily have you, that's not something that most people would think of to go
Right.
in there. But when all is said and done, oh my gosh, it works,
Right.
it works perfectly.
Well, and there's a reason for this, actually, and this is something, I've been painting for 30 plus years, so I'm learning all the time. And the one thing is, well, there's a couple things. First of all, this was a lesson for an art class for my students, and we chose 3 colors, but I was having them work with muted color,
Okay?
and taking your complementary colors and mixing them and graying things down.
Yes, yeah.
So by creating these quiet areas, so
Mhm.
your muted palette, it lets your busier areas speak.
Right,
So you have to have a quiet place so you can notice the busy place.
right.
So, that was kind of something I was teaching to them, but also teaching to myself, because, as somebody who loves color,
Right.
it can get a little crazy. So
Yeah.
this is like a little lesson in restraint, and
Yeah.
it really works.
So like this piece here, I'm going to move this forward a little bit
Yeah.
if I don't manage
Here.
to destroy
Got it.
the
That's a magnet on it.
oh,
so
that's a
it's
magnet. Well,
attached,
I know
yeah.
what I'm doing. So this piece here,
Excuse me.
let me move this. Ah, there we go.
There we go.
This piece here is more of your representation of a landscape,
Mm-hmm.
and to me has more of what you would call a traditional color palette.
Yeah, yes and no.
Yeah,
I would say, because, well, go ahead.
Well, no, but
Interrupted you.
no. Hey, it's your picture. You know what you're doing
But
here,
I
not
didn't let
me.
you finish your question, so
But
go ahead.
to me it has more of a I guess to me it looks more like a color palette that you might actually find in nature.
Mhm.
But explain this color palette then. Was this
Yeah, okay, so, yes, it is more like what you'd find in nature, because this is it's a fall scene, so you'd
Mhm.
have that bright yellow tree in the back, and the bold fall colors against how you get kind of the muted, where, trees start to lose their leaves, so
Right.
it gets a little muted back here. And then, but, when I was saying yes and no, we don't really see blue trees in the world. I mean, most people would say they're brown. So that was my way to interpret it,
Mhm.
and when I look at the world, I guess I see the world through more of a heightened way, and when I interpret it, it's just, I respond with bolder color than you would think. And but yet it is traditional in that, I've got areas that you could interpret as grasses, or it's receding into the distance, and there's suggestions of trees in the distance, and
it is funny. Artists do look at things differently because the blue tree didn't throw me at all. Mm-hmm. My first thought when I looked at that was going into evening with that blue as opposed to bark. My first thought was, that going into evening.
Yeah. So it's like when you see that beautiful evening light.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Those deeper shadows you can get.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but this is beautiful, and I do. And again, I think one of the reasons that I'm so attracted to your work is because of your very innovative placement of color, which I think I don't often think that people think about placement of color and how much it affects the viewer, and how much it really either draws them in or sets a tone, or something along those lines.
Create mood, or
create
mood.
And
a lot of the way I work with color wasn't intentional. It's just something that I think as artists we all have something that is us,
right?
That is our trademark or whatever. And for me, it's just an intuitive response. That's just how I respond to it. And I don't often think when I'm selecting color. I'm just grabbing what I know is right and mixing it and going. If it doesn't work, you cover it up.
Yeah.
There's nothing ventured, nothing gained.
So the next question, is this oil, acrylic?
This one is acrylic, yes.
That was acrylic.
So I started as an oil painter. A lot of my landscape paintings were oil, and then I switched over to acrylic for a couple of reasons. One, because of how easy it is to use, easy cleanup with water. And then two, I was busy teaching full time, and if I had my oils going, they're more involved.
Yes, yeah.
With acrylic, put it down, let it go. And that's the other reason, excuse me, that I was doing collage and abstract pieces at times, because if I was busy doing other things, I could walk into the studio, do some stuff real quick, walk away.
Okay.
And so, it was a nice response to what was going on in my life.
In your life at the time, sure. Yeah. So a time crunch created gorgeous art.
There you go.
See,
squeezing it in.
Squeezing it in, like we all know, multitasking.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move this back a little bit, and then is there any particular piece here you'd like to talk about?
Well, I did want to mention. So, let's pull this one up. Going back to the idea and the difference between literal landscape with the first one we just looked at, and now this, which is, you could say, you could look at this and it's a landscape, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it could be it's an abstract painting too.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Because there's really not a lot. It's about color. It's about shape relationships, sizes, small to large.
Yes.
Here we go with muted colors, and through here against the brighter colors. Using purple for branches, which I just love to do, the purple, even pink for branches.
Yeah.
So you get a sense of it's a bright, kind of autumn sort of day, but it's, it's also, it could be abstract.
This piece makes me happy. It's, I love yellow, so any form of yellow makes me happy. But this piece, to me, when I look at this piece, I kind of get it's almost like an explosion landscape to me.
It is, yeah.
It's kind of like, I know, I kind of get this little happy bump when I look at this piece.
Like in the wintertime, when you're, the days in the winter, when you have our darker days, something like this is just good for cheering you up.
It really is. Yeah. It really is. And again, I know it's kind of hard to see, but again, she does have the muted tones in here that really draw out and make those colors pop. It's quite impressive the way
Yeah.
you use your color. It really
Thanks.
is.
Well, and the other thing I was gonna say is that a lot of times I'm motivated by new materials. So I might get a new tube of, say, like this orange here was making me think of that. So
Yeah.
then that will often motivate a painting. So
Sure.
I gotta try this color out, so.
Oh,
yeah.
I absolutely get that, because I'll get a new enamel color and I'll be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah, gotta try
What-
this.
gotta
So,
try this, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not anything real intentional, at times, this back.
But this has been so informative. I really enjoyed this, and I'm so glad that you took the time to stop in today. I know you're extremely busy.
Well,
and
thank you for
let's
having me.
tell you why
is
she's
she
extremely busy. So, Mary Ann has a show opening tonight. So at the Wembley Club, which is at 8345 Woodbury Boulevard in Chagrin Falls. It's off of 306. And tonight, the opening reception is from 6 to 9. All is welcome. And this show is going to run through
Mid-August.
mid-August.
I'm not sure of the takedown date, but in the public, it's open to the public anytime
Open
to
to the
see.
public,
I don't know
yeah.
the club's hours, but
Yeah.
open to the public. And
And-
it's a show of my abstract works.
Perfect.
So about 16 or 18 abstract paintings.
Wonderful, wonderful. And any additional information you can find on the Instagram or Facebook page?
Regarding that?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so if you follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Mary Ann Sedivy. My tag is Indigo Mare, INDIGOMAR. And I've been posting it quite a bit,
Yeah.
so you could see it in my feed.
Okay, great. And the other thing is this coming Saturday, you are hosting a studio open house at your own home
Yes.
from 1 to 5.
Yes.
So that's this Saturday, July 10th from 1 to 5. And your address is 10579 Pekin Road, and that's in Newbury here. And again, everyone's welcome.
Right.
And what is going to be,
So the gist of this show is I am going to be selling, I've got my greeting cards, which we have some right here. I'll be selling them, anything that's in my studio right now that isn't out in shows.
Okay.
So, we've got the Wembley show. I also have some work on display at Notre Dame Village. I forgot to mention
Oh,
that.
yes,
That's up on
that's right.
Auburn Road.
Yeah.
You'd need to make an appointment to see. But anyway, so I just thought it's a chance for people to come see my studio, see my space. I'm going to be selling my work at 10% off.
oh, nice.
So the current prices. So it's a nice opportunity to get a few pieces. There's a combination of new, fresh, hot off the easel.
Yeah.
And then pieces that I've had in the studio for a few years that haven't found a home. So
Perfect.
maybe they will find a home on Saturday, and I can't wait to show off my space. And they'll have, as I said, we'll have the greeting cards. I'll also have all of my tranquility paintings, which I don't have any sitting out right here, but they're little 5x7 acrylic on panel. They're just little gems.
They are. I've
And,
seen some of
yeah.
them. They are wonderful.
And they were
Yeah.
produced during the pandemic for the most part, and it was just kind of my way of sending out some tranquility to
Yes,
the world.
some good
So,
vibes.
yes, good vibes.
Yes, we needed those.
So
And one last thing, we are going to have Mary Ann do a collage workshop here at Artisan Corner, and that is set for August 21st.
yes.
And I believe that's set for August 21st. Of course, you can
Saturday.
find Saturday. You can find all of that information on the Artisan Corner Gallery website. And it's going to be a collage and frame it workshop.
Yes, so you'll make the collage, have the opportunity to pop it into a frame, and we're gonna theme it. It'll be kind of like a nature theme, either around birds or flowers. So it should be, I think, a lot
that'll
of
be
fun.
fun,
Yeah,
yeah.
nice opportunity, and we're thinking probably like a small size, 5x7 size.
Perfect.
6x8, somewhere in there. So,
Awesome, great. Well, again, thank you so much for stopping by today.
You're welcome.
As we can all see, she's really, really busy, and yet she took the time to stop and say hi. We appreciate it, and we hope that you come back and sit with us again.
oh, it would be fun. I've had a blast.
Great,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
inviting me.
Thanks so much. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.